is going to be initially something that is heavily tilted toward electrical and computer engineering, even though we intend to gradually expand that to other fields as we moving forward. Initially, we will always start with something, and then we'll have to make that grow. So what is this? I mean, a couple of months ago, or maybe like a year or year and a half, I've been discussing with colleagues. Raul is here, is one of whom we've been discussing about possible, how can we get more involved toward Africa. And then the department chair, Mark Teranipo, has been very pushy and wanted absolutely the ESA department to be engaged in Africa for various purposes. And me having the experience of working with Africa for a very long time and working with different groups, different universities, I've come to believe that if we have our initiative oriented toward just one group or one university, and then if it's mostly led by a given person, then this initiative will probably fail. And then we decided to do something that would be more broadly set across multiple universities, and then that will have this institutional character, meaning that is led from the University of Florida. We have the seal of University of Florida in there, and then we do in multiple university and bring in multiple groups together so that if one is not working, the program will not completely fail. In Africa, whenever somebody changes, whenever somebody is promoted and so on, usually it leads to a lot of problem with the continuation. So that's how we created the Ghetto Africa and try now to set it very broadly across sub-Saharan Africa. That means from Senegal up to Kenya and Somalia. Now the program, all information can be found on a webpage that we put in place. So there we're gonna be gathering all the information. We're gonna having all announcement about the program, and that's also what we're gonna be putting in place in order to help us manage the whole program. So what do we intend to do? One big problem that I've seen usually through my engagement in Africa is, particularly in the field of computer and electrical engineering, is usually the curriculum. Our colleague on the other end usually struggle to develop state-of-the-art curriculum, getting the type of lab equipment that they need, getting the type of even the faculty and those people well-trained in order for them to make their program work. So, and therefore, we would like to be a little bit more involved, working together with those colleagues to figure out what is the best curriculum and how we can guide them, how we can how we can help them move forward in a world where things are changing so much and so on. Then the faculty development is also another problem. So I visited country like Rwanda, I visited country like Tanzania. Despite a huge amount of investment that a country like Rwanda is doing, or maybe Tanzania, they're still having a problem with good faculty, having those PhD really qualified that can teach those advanced class. And we want to be involved in that. We want to help them. We want to bring some here. We want to have our faculty traveling them and then help with those help. Then the problem of labs. So that also comes with the curriculum development. So when they develop lab in computer architecture, computer system, getting the tools that they require for that, getting the different material and so on, is not always given. And here we have a great deal of connections with companies that usually give a lot of those equipment in form of donation, in form of discounts, so discount that we could all arrange, and then not only make sure that they have the proper equipment, but that they also have the proper content in order to easily teach those equipment. So, so that is one with those lab that we would like to have maybe at different locations. So we can start with one and then have this lab, let's say if we have it in Rwanda or in Kenya, we could use that maybe to regionally train people regularly in that area and make it much easier for them to learn instead of having to travel on this side here and then to learn those advanced material. Then the University of Florida, for our own classes, we're already interested in having those remote labs. So we're trying to move now a lot of labs that use expensive equipment and usually difficult to set environment. We're trying to move that online now and make it easy for our own students. So if we're making that easy for our own students and those labs are running remotely here in Florida, students can access that, can use camera to have access to the material and use tools in order to do their lab. Why don't we also make it available to people in Africa? So we could be having the equipment sitting down here on a server, on a cloud, and then allow the student over there to really have access to state-of-the-art equipment without having to purchase them. So those are some of those actions that we're very interested in. And now for the University of Florida, we also have the issue of what is the return of investment for our university here. We like to do joint research project with our colleague in Africa, learning a little bit more from these different cultures, going after funding that can allow us to develop technology that may require it to work in environment, in harsh environment, or in environment that are not necessarily what we have here in the US. So we're thinking of projects in the field of healthcare, food, energy solutions, so rural connectivity, and then be able to develop affordable technology for those areas. What we do there could also be beneficial for the rural America later on. And then student exchange. Some of our students may be interested in discovering Africa, traveling there, and then maybe taking some event classes. But we believe that it's going to be more something that the students in Africa are willing to, particularly the PhD student and graduate student, be able to spend some time here, be able to also recruit faculty that can travel on this side here and do that back and forth in order to improve their training. We're interested as University of Florida, as a university, to be hiring a little bit more in Africa. We've not been doing that so much. Our students, they come mostly from India, from China, and then from Bangladesh. We've seen those numbers raising today, but we barely have students from Africa, and we believe that Africa has great talents, and we would like to recruit a little bit more from those areas. How do we fund them? How do we make this work? We're going to be discussing that. We're thinking of various models, like maybe remote masters that we could organize either here or in Africa or regionally with the collaboration of the University of Florida, and then making it accessible to students over there, being able to train those students until the point where we can get them here with a solid training, and that could have them contribute to the development of the technology on this side. One of the problems that I usually see in Africa is young faculty, but also even senior faculty. So universities are heavily teaching, are really doing more teaching activity than research. And one of those problems is because the younger faculty that are higher, they're really loaded with classes, and it becomes difficult for them to see something else. But if they have the proper guidance, then those faculty could also develop a research track. They could develop their own research. And knowing how to develop a research track, knowing how to put a research lab in place, is something that a lot of faculty, even senior faculty, still have trouble doing in Africa. And one of our goals would be to be able to mentor those faculty, so to pair them with colleagues on this side here that they could work together with. They learn how to put a proposal in place, how to go after a grant. The grant doesn't necessarily have to come from this side here. Even in their own country, the government could be able to put some fund, to make some fund available that it could use in order for them to develop their research. But how do you do that from the idea development until you have the recruitment of students, you have the prototype, and then you start expanding your own research? And this is some of the knowledge that we would like to share with them. Now, are those all activities that we like to do? No, but what I've just presented are the main line, is the high-level concept of this Ghetto Africa. And the detail of that will be coming as we start interacting with the different faculty over there, the different group. we're going to see what we intend to develop first and how we should be moving forward. But we set up this program initially in January, and any program that you have out there, in order for it to run, you need money. So, and our initial target is to raise 200,000 over this period of 1 year, 200,000 US dollar. And this money is going to allow us to set up the infrastructure. If we need to hire a TA, we need to travel, for instance, and then we need to do organization, and then also allows us to continue doing the fundraising. So we started the recruitment of school. I started talking to many of you guys since January, and then it took a little bit of time until we put an announcement online and wanted to have this info session organized today, so to give you a little bit more information about what our goal is. So what we intend to do now, we intend to have a trip in Africa. Not sure that May is too close now. We'll probably have that between July and September. And our goal is to travel to a couple of countries in Africa, at least 3 countries. So we have on our list here the Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, and so on. And then as we travel there, we like to discuss with faculty fact-finding. We also like to, if we decide to travel in one country like Senegal, we like to invite people in the surrounding country in that area so that we could all sit together, discuss what we intend to do next and how your contribution will be here. So I'll be talking to Ping and then see how we could get the funding for this, for faculty to travel wherever we're going. But if you're in this list here and you're really interested in seeing us in your country and having us visit your country, so please get in touch with me so that we have that in the planning, because we've not yet set everything in stone. We're still looking into one country in West Africa, one country in the Central Africa, and then one country in the Eastern Africa. So if you're interested in hosting, please let me know. And then in December, our goal was to host a group of faculty from Africa here. So have some of the faculty that have subscribed in this program here travel to US. The goal was also to set up the collaborative framework to continue with this workshop. And then while you guys here to organize like a week-long training in different technology, different lab. Our goal is also to invite companies that can provide us material for that, so that when the faculty goes back to Africa, they have not only the material, but they also have the knowledge in order to at least start spreading this content. Another activity that we intend to do, our first regional lab, we like to have at least maybe 1 or 2 sometime in December 2026. That regional lab, we intend to, if we have the infrastructure, like the room, table, everything that is given to us with a university that is willing to do that in Africa, then our goal will be to equip that university to train the personnel and then to put the program in place so that we know periodically we can be training faculty in a given area. Rwanda would be a nice case for that. If you guys from Rwanda are interested in hosting this here, let us know, and then we'll set up everything and then make sure that we also have a program to be training people from Uganda, from Kenya, from Tanzania, right, in that regional lab. We intend to develop a regional master. This regional master has been done on the model, would be done on the model that the Tübingen University is currently doing with a university in Gabon, Lambaréné. So Tübingen is a top university in Germany, and they have a master, I think, in geography that they organize regionally in Africa, in Gabon, and that allows country students from surrounding country or from that region or other part of Africa to get a scholarship to go there and study. They don't necessarily have to go to Germany. By having them going to Africa and studying there, it gives them the possibility to spend less money. Yeah, Desiree, thank you. We're going to talk about that later on. So it gives them the possibility to spend less money because they're traveling across Africa, and then we could be training more by doing that. And then our faculty could be traveling periodically there and have group classes, but most of the class are going to be online. We're going to have people on the ground that can support, like with TA, that can support those students working on the ground, taking classes and so on. It's a model that works pretty well, and funding agency like the German DAAD is taking care of sponsoring the students that are traveling around. So we're gonna see if we can do that in collaboration with a university in Germany, and then if the Fulbright and the DAAD will be willing to fund us in this year. So our funding is not going to be limited to the US. We're going to be looking everywhere in the world. If Japan has the possibility to help in this program here, we're going to be talking to the Japanese government and so on. And then our own classes here, we're setting up some lab in FPGA and then digital signal processing component for various classes here. And we're setting those labs online. I'm not the only person doing that. I'm talking to 2 of my colleagues who are already doing something like that. So now what we like to do it at a larger scale. My class has 200 students, and I want to be able to organize something with 200 students and then give the possibility to groups or labs in Africa to also use this material whenever. So we have a nice planning, a nice schedule, and give them the possibility to use those material. So this is all I had to present to you today. You see our timeline here. And then before taking question, one thing I would like to say is that this initiative is not the classical way of going to Africa with a bag of money and then handing that to people there and getting out, right? We want Africa to be, our country in Africa to be participating, to also be funding this here. So if we like to purchase the equipment, if you guys want to, and I've known a lot of universities that usually want to purchase equipment, but they don't even know which one. Here we have the possibility to talk with those vendors. I do that for the department. I negotiate with Roden Schwartz, with Kians and all these. And then we could be purchasing that in huge quantity and getting a lot of discounts that can also help you, right? So that's all I had for today. So I'll go. So let us move with questions now. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand and speak.
Hi, Christoph. Dave here.
Yeah, hi, Dave.
Hey, hope you're having a good travel. Thanks for this really great efforts. I like it a lot. I see the vision of where this could go long term. One question I had is there a central theme for this from a research standpoint? That is, let's say maybe bioinformatics, AI, robotics. How could we describe the theme, overarching theme?
That's an excellent question. So AI is the buzzword today, is what is out there. And then I believe that under AI, we can hide a lot. Even the master that we like to create, we intend to have that more oriented toward AI. Expressly, I did not put a team here because I wanted us to meet to discuss. I want you to be part of this discussion. We had a lot of discussion in the past, and this is an initiative that I cannot carry alone. So I intend to rely on people like you, that we come together, have meeting, have workshop, and then you're welcome to be part of the trip that we want to organize if you have time. And then this fact finding gonna allow us to define exactly what's the topic of the overarching topic of this collaboration.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. One thing I want to add very quickly is many of these African countries you have listed here and even more, they typically have, as you may know, they generally have a theme. For example, East Africa might be, I don't know, gold, for example, and West Africa is known for agriculture, and North Africa might be, healthcare, for example. So that may also be another way to look at it when thinking about the regional labs. Just something I observed of recent. Thought I should share that.
Okay. Yeah, so let us work on this here. Even though we're putting this here forward, I consider everyone in this group here and everyone that is working toward this here as a founding member of this organization on this initiative here. I'll go ahead and take question from Desiree quickly. Yeah, please.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, just I appreciate this is a good initiative. I believe, you know, the long story. I just appreciate your support for one of the course in our university, especially Center of Excellence in the Internet of Things. Yeah, even that's why even I joined this. But the only question I want, I think it's very, you tackle on the issue we are having actually locally here. Because as you mentioned, we have the issue of capacity building, especially in those technical, especially FPGA, all those technical parts, because even to get the device, it's very, even if you want to buy them, it's a challenge. So I believe this platform can be very helpful. And for my side, I would like to know what's the requirement so that at least I can tell my leader that there's something initiative which is going on, be the pioneer. If you don't become a pioneer, it's a good initiative. So just I want to know what should we do on my side as a staff in UR, University of Rwanda, so that at least we cannot lag behind. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Desiree. Yes, I'm sorry that I couldn't come to Rwanda specifically for this class, but we were able to organize that with one of my PhD, and those are things that we would like to maybe expand. And there's no condition to be part of the program, so you just download there's a memorandum of understanding online. Just fill up the form. I believe you did that already. Download the MOU. And then let it go on your side. So when you sign it, we have it on our side here, and then you're part of the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let me take Raul first, and then I will take Janvier.
Hi, Christophe. I want to inform you of something which may or may not be interesting in this initiative. So I work with SRC on there's a roadmap exercise you may be aware that that looks at what are the future for semiconductors, and then also where the future research should be. And I work on the section that's on sustainability, and specifically the section has to do with e-waste. It's something that I got interested in when I was working with Analog Devices and their leadership team. So there's a very obvious African connection there, because a lot of e-waste today goes to Africa, and when the backward deconstruction process and extraction process is not particularly good, and it's toxic and has many issues. So we're defining research themes as a part of this, and I've engaged with the CMU guys. You already know the CMU has a campus in Africa. So to the degree that that might be interesting, there's obvious connections with UF, because Mark's team works on, you know, counterfeiting and dark markets and hardware security issues, which are all central to all of this. So I just wanted to inform you of that, and if you want to continue that conversation, it seems like that might be a very interesting theme that pulls in, you know, because my sense is a lot of the solutions on the backward supply chain will have to be in Africa. So that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Raul, for bringing this up. And this is a topic I'm very interested in. I particularly, we need to continue this conversation, but just an anecdote. So I've been contacted by a company in Dallas. So the guy, Dan Wang, who lead that company, he visited us like 3 weeks ago, and he does robot disassembly. So the purpose of disassembly is to take PCB, identify those chips on them, remove them, and then repackage them, and so on. So he works with NVIDIA, with all those companies for the purpose of assembly. And he built those robots. So he have that knowledge on how to do those robots. And I was talking to him about the possibility of using those robots in Africa. He's currently he's currently working with us on the AI part, being able to quickly do the recognition of the chip on the board and the position, and then making sure that when the board is also tilted, that we still have the robot going there and pick those components.
Right.
So they hit the board, and then the robot has to pick up all those parts, disassembly.
Right.
Yeah. And this would be very interesting for Africa. So we cannot collect all those e-waste that we have in Africa and then transfer to Dallas in order to, if we had it there in a given country, then we could be disassembling, and that's also a lot of money on those chips. It's not just disassembly. You can earn a lot of money collecting all those.
Well, yeah, I think this is very fascinating because let me just tell you kind of where the thinking is going on three levels. So one is disassembly, then the second is use in secondary markets, maybe locally. So maybe the chips can be used locally versus, and then there's the idea working with the semiconductor companies of requalification when the chips are disassembled, they're actually the original testing is done on them locally with just test equipment. And then, as you know, Mark's team has identification sorts of things, or at least I should say the UF team has identification you can put in so you can certify. And finally, you know about what's happening with Ukraine with the deal that for rare earth and all of that sort of stuff. So one of the observations people have made is it's actually far more cost efficient and energy efficient to get these materials from e-waste than from mining.
Okay.
And so all of these confluence of things seem to indicate that far more automation and technology and research, fundamental research in this e-waste area can have a lot of very positive consequences.
Thank you, Raul. So I'm going to be talking about that with you. I need to come down to Ocala when you're back in the US. I don't know when, so we could have this conversation.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back in the US. I'm back from Europe, so anytime is fine.
Okay. So let's maybe make time sometime next week to come down there and see you.
Okay.
Yeah. Janvier.
Yes, I am Dr. Javier Foutin from Cameroon, University of Buea. Thank you, Professor Christophe, for your presentation. And I'm focused on the regional master. I'm actually in Gabon. I'm discussed this morning with some of my colleagues who asked me questions concerning the program. Have you think about the who signed the certificate? Because for the programs to have a regional master, yes, we have collaboration with a local university, but one of the main problems we are supposed to focus on at the end of training is the recognition of the certificate.
Yes. That master, as of now, my thought is that is going to be a master of the University of Florida. So we're going to be fully part of this. There's a process here to get education, because university, all what we do here, you need to pay for that. We have tuition for out of state. We have tuition for in-state. We're currently working toward an online master from the University of Florida. And we need to see first what the Board of Trustees tell us about that and so on. But our goal is to work toward a master that's going to be from University of Florida. I intend to involve also a university, my other university in Germany. I'm affiliated with the University of Cottbus, Technical University of Cottbus in Germany. I'm still honorary professor there. And then I intend to bring them on board on this, and then possibly bring the University of Heidelberg and then a couple of other universities in Germany in this initiative. So it's going to be a master that is really supported by one of the universities, at least as of now, we're targeting the University of Florida.
Good, thank you for your answer. And I'm thinking this is a very good project. We are happy to be a team of this project. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Hi, Chris. This is Charles here. I look on my Zoom how to raise my hand. I couldn't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Charles Kamwa from the Army Research Laboratory.
Yeah, hi, Charles.
Yes. I'm not introducing for you, Chris. It's for those online. You know, we spoke about this long time ago, and I'm happy that you are starting the implementation part. And yes, a question for you, Chris. I do not know if part of this can be the possibility of PhD student co-tutel between African University and University of Florida, or even postdoctoral research opportunity for students from Africa, or not?
That's a good question. So in the US, it's I may leave Ping answer this one. I don't know if Ping is still online because she's our international relation person, and she knows more about. Yeah, I see that Ping have left now.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh, Ping, yeah. Ping, do we have that possibility of doing this dual degree at the University of Florida? Is this something that we could target with Africa so that if we have PhD students over there that we co-advising, that at the end they also have the degree from the University of Florida?
Yes, we have that ability. Students, it will not be a joint degree because UF doesn't do joint degrees, but it will end up, student will get a degree from their home institution and a degree from Florida. So there is precedence for that, and I believe we can do that again.
Okay, so if we have precedence for that, then probably it's going to also be similar to the master, but we can sit down and then discuss all those options, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so Dr. Ping, I need an extra clarification. At the same time, you say it will not be a joint degree, and you are also saying that the student get a degree from the home institution and a degree from University of Florida. Because that's exactly what describes a co-tutel. A co-tutel basically is very popular in Germany and France. That means the student, do a degree with an advisor from France and an advisor, let's say, from Rwanda. And at the end of the 3-year PhD program or 4-year, the student will defer a single PhD dissertation that will count in both institutions, and both institutions award a degree. So you get 2 doctorate degrees at the end. Is that the same way, or is there something different here, please?
That is what I was referring to. So that will be the same way. They will get 2 PhD diplomas at the end, but doing like the same credit with both universities. So they will have to take a certain number of classes at their home university and a certain number of classes at University of Florida. But that will all have to be, we'll have to make a plan for the students so that we know what classes they're taking where.
And what will be the minimum number of classes to take at the University of Florida to get a University of Florida PhD degree?
The details of that, I'm not sure. That will have to be, every student's plan will have to be different. So unfortunately, there's not a master plan for this. Dual PhD programs, it will have to be according to individual students.
I see,
Right.
Thank you. And that will be at the full tuition cost of international student or institution, or even lower?
It will be at the full international student cost for now, unless we can get funding.
Although the students do not have the F1 statute, because the student will be mostly based on the home institution, maybe in Africa, do that require F1 visa, I-20 or not in this case?
I believe F1 visa.
Yes, some of these I can answer that quickly. Right now, we don't have this remote PhD. Some universities have what they call the remote doctorate, which is a little bit lower version of a PhD. But our college have recently decided that we wanted to do remote PhD. And I worked on that one, and I put all the concept, everything that we needed to do it. Then our faculty did not approve that, but the college have approved that they wanted to do this remote PhD. And then we could even fund those. So there's a discussion going on, and our department decided we wanted to do that experimentally. So faculty that are willing to do it can go ahead and do it. And then we have a couple of students that we have in the industry. So if we have a student in Africa and I'm co-advising that student, I can do it. So it's already possible. Now, the only question is who is going to fund that student? The tuition here is pretty high. There's possibility. The master that we're doing for 5,000 is not yet, I mean, I'm letting something out of the bag here. We're applying for that master, but it has to go through the university, and I'm not sure that they're going to approve it. On the other hand, one other part is to require waivers, and the Center for Self-Study tells us that to do this master, we could also just require waivers. And I believe with this program, I could go to the provost, I could go to the president and request a certain number of waivers for the student that would like to. If it's 10 students, getting a waiver should not be really that huge of an issue. But we haven't discussed, or we haven't looked into that. We're going to be sitting down and then try to find a path in order to make that work.
No, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much. And just to update, other participants here, as I was saying before, I'm the chair for Army Research Laboratory Africa. So our director validated that back in 2020 to increase our research collaboration with university in Africa. So far, we have 7 projects funded there and more than 8 workshops in a total close to $3 million over the past 4 years. We have projects in Cameroon, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in South Africa, and workshop funded in Uganda, Morocco, and many other countries at the top of my head. And outside the Army now, the Office of the Secretary of Defense at the Pentagon, the Basic Research Office, they launched a comprehensive, strategy for Africa and started funding the U.S.-Africa Frontier Symposium with the U.S. National Academy of Science in collaboration with the U.S. African Academy of Science. You can just put that on Google. You're going to see the U.S.-Africa Frontier. The first meeting happened 3 years ago, and the third meeting happened in Kigali last week, Yes. Yeah. So at GOG, we are also interested to, to have those initiatives, and we are happy that the University of Florida is going in the same direction. And Chris, please, any update you have, particularly on the joint PhD, the tuition the student will be paying, the minimum number of credit, please update me. I will broadcast that to our correspondent in Africa. Over.
Okay, thank you. So we're looking for resource. So any possibility for us to get those resources, to get the funding that we need in order to make this move forward and so on is welcome. So we very much appreciate if the Army was able to assist us in this year, but we've not yet started looking in the funding direction. Yes, we start raising here, but funding for project, we've not yet started doing that.
The fund project directly go to African University. It cannot go to University of Florida, to be reallocated in Africa. That's mean African researcher in our scheme directly look into our BAA, submit proposal. We have like yearly, seminar when we show our award process, the BAA submission, everything that you are already familiar with, Chris, in the US side. We teach that to African researcher, collect the white paper, and those who can go to full proposal go, and selection is made, and so on. But directly from university in Africa. Over.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Do we have further questions? So if we don't have further question, I'm going to give you back some of your time, and then thank you for attending this session today. And then,
Yeah, Christoph, I have one question.
Yes, David.
I apologize for entering the meeting very late. My link was not working from the email. I don't know why. It is okay. I want to know how this offering can be applied to private universities in Africa.
Private universities are welcome to join. So again, everything is online. If you haven't sent invite to a university and you want that university to be part of this year, please just forward that email to the university and let them know the process. So they're welcome to join.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Christopher, when are you looking to begin the activities in Africa, the journey there?
We planning this trip. I say sometime between July and September, and then we're gonna bring faculty from there here. Really, it's around July, but right now we're already engaging them. We're gonna be organizing a lot on the mailing list and so on, and then we need to set a collaborative platform online that's gonna help us have this move forward.
Okay. Okay, all right. I'll be open to some of those. I don't know what the logistics are, so you can let me know.
Okay. Yes. I will let you know, Dave. So we still have to discuss about this here. So I'm gonna be talking to you, and then the guy from the CAS and many other. There's Emmanuel, who is not here today. Him from Liberia, and then we're also planning to have things done on that side. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, thank you for attending. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to be working with you guys. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Yes, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.